Supports are finally getting nerfed in the mid-season patch, and it seems like Blizzard wants that to be the big one. Now, I'm going to read out the article that was written and posted by Blizzard Entertainment. I believe Aaron Keller wrote it. I'm not entirely sure, but it's from Blizzard Overwatch, team, which is Team 4. Let's talk about it. There's a lot of thing in here. Before we get into it, I'll give you the quick summaries. Supports are getting nerfed. They're keeping a close eye on Orisa. Bastion's getting a small nerf. Changes to the Battle Pass and monetization system as a whole is coming. And most importantly, they're gearing up for more events. They have a crossover collab with 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐊𝐒, which is a K-pop group, which is comprised of 2 Japanese women as well. I'm not fully versed on them, but there does seem to be some excitement lingering around for this collab. And then finally, they talk about the controversy regarding the Lilith Moira skin. And honestly, from all the takes and from all the commentary in this development blog, the Lilith Moira thing was the only disappointing thing. So let's get started. In fact, I will just talk about the Lilith Moira controversy first, and then we'll talk about the balance patch and everything else. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to put the wall of text in front of your screen. You can just enjoy the gameplay in the background, and I'll talk to you about, what they talked about. So the first thing was that they said that there was a bit of controversy at the start of this season with the placement of our latest Moira skin in the Ultimate Battle Pass bundle. Some players felt like it was the best skin of the season and were upset that it could only be obtained through purchasing the highest price bundle. We do sell an Ultimate Battle Pass bundle every season with legendary skins in it, and we will continue to do so. However, the lesson we're taking away from this moment is to make sure that we can provide more ways to acquire some of our most popular skins. Now, the disappointing thing to read about this is basically Blizzard doubled down and they're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you guys wanted the Lilith Moira skin and it wasn't obtainable separately, but, whatever, shrug. It is what it is. Move on with your life. Either buy it or don't. Now, the one thing I don't like about in this is when the blog over here says, however, the lesson we're taking away is that we provide more ways to acquire some of our most popular skins. With all due respect, how do you know if a skin is popular or not if you don't sell it to begin with? Like, I'm fairly certain, unless you're really dedicated, like, Moira main, or just everything in the bundle looks good to you, how do you determine that, oh, this is the most popular skin, right? Well, of course, Lilith Moira is kind of a given just because of how amazing it looks. Very detailed, very authentic skin, top tier, one of the best in the game. And, sure, that's fine, but it's like, why would you say something like, yeah, we'll make sure we have more ways to give you guys up most popular skins? Well, if you're not going to change the model right now, what's the promise for the future? I know they talk about this in the monetization changes, but we'll discuss that in a moment. The thing I hate about this situation is rather than just like, okay, you can get the bundle as a whole, or you can buy it separately from the hero gallery. The fact that that isn't a thing is still really scummy, and that should be something that gets looked into. I know bundles are bundles are supposed to have like a big catch to them, so you're more incentivized to buying them. But in my opinion, Blizzard shouldn't worry too much about money and worry more about goodwill. And speaking of goodwill, I feel like the Battle Pass and the shop changes that are coming are probably, what they're trying to do is, try to win over a lot of goodwill. Now, with the Lilith Moira controversy out of the way, let's talk about the balance. So we know that supports are going to be getting a nerf. It's confirmed. Why? Because here's what Aaron Keller has to say in the dev blog. He says, this season marked the release of our latest Sombra rework. The hero keeps the hacker fantasy, but her playstyle is more active and engaged than it was previously. She also received a new ability, Virus. We've also seen a lot of different takes on the rework and her new kit online, from dramatically overpowered to dramatically underpowered. Yeah, but here's the thing. New Sombra is actually kind of balanced, in my personal opinion, right? Like, I don't think she's OP. I don't think she's underpowered. I think she has a place where she's viable, and then after that, like, she's kind of mid. Pretty much like every other balanced DPS right now, right? Same thing can be said for something like Genji, Tracer. Like, they're in the right circumstances, they're very good. In the wrong circumstances, they're very meh. So she pretty much fits in, and I think that's okay to have our flankers be in that, area. I think that's what makes them healthy. Not everybody can pick it up, and not everybody can find value. You have to kind of really learn the character and the way they work. But anyways, so he goes on to say, but when you look at the data, she's trending in a great direction. Her win rate jumped up by 4 to 5%. Sorry for the noise outside in case you heard it. He goes on to say the Sombra's win rate jumped up by 4 to 5%, with it being slightly higher at lower tiers and bottoming out in Masters and above around 46 to 47%. That's a little bit low. People are still playing her quite a bit. Something we did observe was that whenever we do a rework or a new hero release, there's a big spike in the character, and then people go back to their mains. Sombra looks stickier initially and hasn't been followed by the same drop-off. Perhaps she's become a new main for players. We're mostly happy with where she's at as players gets accustomed to her, but we're looking at the effectiveness of EMP and the frequency of her cooldowns. So this is quite interesting because I don't think there's any problem with her cooldowns right now. I do think EMP as an ultimate is a massive joke and they really need to reevaluate it. In fact, I wouldn't even be opposed if maybe we changed EMP entirely, but I don't really dislike the ult that much, honestly. So looking forward to seeing what they do with EMP. Really hope they don't mess it up because at the moment Sombra is pretty decent. Again, problem with Sombra is that EMP is again that one part of her kit where she really needs her teammates to follow up. Otherwise you just fall apart. It's there for like a good 2-kill combo and that's it. Moving on, this is another disappointing thing. They said that the Roadhog rework has been delayed. It's not coming within the mid-season patch. It will come a little bit later. It will still come in this season, so in the next month or two, but it will come a little bit later, so maybe 2 weeks after that point. So they said we're changing the release update to Roadhog because he's getting a reworked primary fire, changes to take a breather, and an all-new ability. So he's getting like 3 new ways that he's going to be, you know, playing the game. His primary fire is different, his take a breather is different, and a new ability. So all of that sounds exciting. Based on quite a few last-minute tweaks to the kit, he's not going to make it in mid-season, but he will come later in the season. So again, that's what was stated. Moving on, they talk about the state of balance, that they're pretty happy with it, but let's get into a little more detail based off our stats and community feedback. Man, I hate this. This stats balancing is really silly. I'm not going to lie. Honestly, having a feel for the game and seeing what's being played on your streamers, on your content creators, what people are talking about in the forums on Twitter and this type of stuff, this should be more of a priority than just stats. Because in my personal opinion, Overwatch is a game where, unless there's a drastic number over there, obviously, stats do not matter. I'm going to keep it real. Stats do not matter simply because the things are so different at every level of play. You really have to nail down the feeling of the hero. You know, insert, you know, feel like Spider-Man meme over here. But my point still remains is that you need to make sure is this hero feeling healthy? Do they feel fun to play against, fun to play with, or are they bad to play with and against? Like the current state of Bastion is incredibly frustrating to have on your team because you have to pocket him and enable him, otherwise lose the team fight for free. And if it works out, then the opponent is forced to respond to it. So it's annoying for both sides, right? Anyways, moving on, they basically talk about that we're making a series of changes, you know, to support, right? That there's a rising power level in support within the meta, and we're making a series of changes to them in the mid-season patch with the intent of targeting their utility and opening up windows of vulnerability. So are we finally going to see some nerfs to the really powerful support abilities, namely on characters like Illari, to characters like Kiriko, Ana, Baptiste? Like, is this it? They haven't named anybody, but it does seem like a role-wide thing. Okay, so over here they say that we want to be careful here in order to avoid some of the feelings of helplessness that supports had at launch, but we want to lower some of the overall sustain and survivability that's present in the game. Currently, we're also seeing a lot of talk about Orisa, Zarya, Bastion. Yeah, of course, because they're all very strong right now. From a stats perspective, Orisa isn't one of our top performing tanks. That spot goes to Reinhardt at low level and Sigma. Oh my god, man. Like, why do they look at stats? First of all, the reason people are playing Ryan in lower levels of play is because Orisa is a snooze fest. And the same goes for Sigma at the high level as well. Now, Sigma is a little bit of a different case. That's because there's like some variation of double sniper here and there. There's this like, just overall, I suppose people have gotten bored of playing Orisa. And Sigma's not that bad to facilitate your Bastion picks and everything, and if you can play him a little bit slowly, it's not that bad of a poke tank into the Orisa either, although he is like not the best into Orisa. He's okay, you know. He can make it work around his team, but you should optimally mirror the Orisa or play Zarya. However, you know, there's so many factors in line, right? Actually, I would make an argument that Winston is probably the most popular. I play at GM level, so I see a lot of Winston again, and they don't talk about it. So I don't know, man. I don't know where Sigma is being played a lot. Even at I play in Europe, and I watch a lot of Asian and NA streams, and from what I see, Winston is kind of very prominent here. But anyways, so they said that this could be one of those cases where she feels frustrating to play against, but isn't giving that same value to her team. Oh my god. So they think that Orisa isn't giving value to her team, and she feels frustrating to play against. Okay, first of all, Orisa brings a lot of value to the team just by staying alive. Like, when you play Orisa, all you want is to stay alive and just deny the enemy tank the ability to play the game. That's what your kit is designed around. So can we please, like, this is the development team literally trying to gaslight us that, yeah, we think Orisa, because you know what this means? Like, if what they're going to do is next season Orisa will get a buff. Because then they'll be like, well, we nerfed supports and Orisa just kind of fell apart, so here's another buff for. And man, like, whoever in the, like, that's what I assume. And so far, I've been calling the patch notes pretty thumbs up. I've been predicting a lot of these patch notes, right? And that's my fear, is with when the support stuff goes down, I feel like we might see some unnecessary changes to tanks, namely Orisa. Simply because already the team at Blizzard for Overwatch has already shown that they have a keen eye for her, and I don't know, I'm scared about this. But anyway, so they said that we made a small change to her at the start of Season 7. We're in a wait-and-see process with her. You don't need to wait and see. She's still really strong. Anyways, we're also planning a slight nerf to Bastion's Assault form, which is the Torrent form, I believe, for the mid-season patch. The mid-season balance patch will include changes to support and quite a few others, and will be roughly comparable in size to the balance patch at the start of Season 7. So basically, we're getting an actual patch this mid-season when the collab and everything goes live, right? We'll get into more details in the next few weeks as we get closer to release. Now, they also went on to say that Halloween Terror has been a success. And this should be no surprise. The Halloween event has always been a success for Overwatch. There's never been a case where it's not successful. It's just, you know, it's their bread and butter at this point, probably. So Halloween Terror has been the most popular event in Overwatch, and this year was no exception. We released a totally new game mode. Finally, only took them 7 years to do it. A totally new game mode with the Trials of Sanctuary. It's one of the first times we gave the players to have new abilities. By the way, that stuff, I haven't played it yet, but that stuff looks really fun. I can't wait to get around to playing it. I want to beat it on Legendary. The title that you can get for beating a Legendary, the Hero of Light, is amazing. Can't wait to get it. They go on to say that we love the mode. It looks like players do really like it too. On the first day of the season, over 35% of all players' hours were spent in the Halloween game modes. We're talking about what an expanded version of this mode could look like, and a way to get even more progression and player choice involved. That is really, really cool. Really happy to see that, you know, in some shape and form, like so far from Season 6 to Season 7, we have been getting some juicy PvE content here and there. Again, granted that it's not at the scale that we would want it to be, but it's better than nothing. I'll take it, you know. Anyways, they're saying that Halloween is not the only event this year. Coming in October and November, there's more exciting things coming, and they've just announced their collab with 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐊𝐒 yesterday, and they cannot wait to share more. They cannot go into details again for now, but they can give us a glimpse of what's coming. They're very excited about it. At BlizzCon, they're going to be revealing the new hero, and 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐊𝐒 is doing a live performance, as well as, you know, they will have a collab coming to Overwatch. So we don't know how many skins. So far, the estimated number is 2 to 5. I think they will give 5 skins. Like, they're gonna prioritize, man. That stuff, you know for a fact. You know exactly which art step they're targeting. To anybody that knows, you know. I don't need to be obvious about, you know, who might be getting a skin. My predictions are going to be D.Va, Mercy, Kiriko, maybe Widowmaker, Ashe, and Brigitte. So, some range of these characters, okay? Or maybe I will laugh if Echo gets it, or Zarya or Junker Queen. I don't see them getting it. They will give something like this to the more, you know, feminine looking characters than the more, like, you know, the Zarya and Junker Queen arch type of a lot more muscular and things like that. Anyways, they go on to talk about the shop and the Battle Pass, saying that, you know, we've heard a lot of player feedback. We understand the negativity around these two things, and it's a top priority for us to fix going into early next year, along with a revamped competitive mode. And we're going to see the new competitive mode at BlizzCon. Guys, place your bets. At BlizzCon, they're just going to show the Overwatch 1 competitive mode. They're just going to be like, guys, this is a new thing. It just has new graphics. It'll be like a new interface, but the concept will be the exact same. Just watch that happen. I'm going to predict this one too. It's going to be hilarious. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for this week. And that's pretty much it for the news roundup when it comes to the Overwatch team. And overall, this was an interesting development blog. Again, the main key takeaway here is that the supports are finally getting nerfed, and they are keeping an eye on Orisa. So it seems like Orisa might slither through these patch notes, but I think it's okay. Let's see what happens when overall healing kind of goes down. I really hope overall healing in the game does kind of go down, and then we can evaluate the state of tank and DPS from that point onwards. Regardless, that's it. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, want to support me for free, then just hit like. It means a lot. It helps with the algorithm. Gets my channel around. You can hit subscribe if you want to stick around. You know, we can have a party at some point. I don't know. We hit 3,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. You know, I'm trying to get a Battle Pass giveaway together. Just give me a little bit more time, and we will do that. Now, if you want to support me financially, which I know most of you don't, But to the few of you that may be interested, there's a super chat donation button somewhere down below in the comments. If you can find it, if you can donate some money, I would appreciate it. Guys, going through some rough times over here, anything helps. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.